Zion could be taking off soon for the New Orleans Pelicans. That's right, after missing the first 44 games of the season while healing a surgically repaired lateral meniscus tear in his right knee, he could be lifting off this Wednesday. He was originally slated to miss 6 to 8 weeks, remember, at the beginning of the season. Pelicans extended it to about 13 weeks, gave him some more time to expand that range of motion in his hips, in his feet, and work on his movement. Now, Pelicans Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations David Griffin said if Zion has a good practice, gets a thumbs up from medical, he could be expected to play Wednesday against the Spurs on ESPN. And if that doesn't happen, we've got you covered as 2 of the next 3 games will be on ESPN. And that got us thinking about some of the greatest debuts that have ever happened in the NBA.
You see number 33, Lou. This is his first professional basketball game, and the whole country has waited for it.
I'm very excited to start my first game, and I think our team is ready, and it's going to be a great season.
Here is the man, Michael Jordan from North Carolina, the number 3 pick in the NBA draft. O'Neal runs the floor, takes it all the way. My goodness.
Allen Iverson, who's the number 1 pick last June. Raw lightning. Wait till you see him play.
In probably the most anticipated debut of any first-year athlete in any sport, LeBron James will put it on the floor for the first time.
So obviously Zion's debut will be the greatest debut in HD TV, as we've covered through that little montage. But seriously, how big could him returning and us seeing Zion for the first time? We've been waiting for the explosiveness and seeing what we saw in preseason. What does it mean?
Who did you just compare him to? These are all-time great players. I draft you number 1 overall. I hope I get a Hall of Famer. He's going to bring youth, enthusiasm, athleticism. He has an underrated handle and an opportunity to put this team into the playoffs because they're hovering around the 8th spot.
And you know what's different in basketball than other sports is that a player, it can be all about him, right? In baseball, a guy might only get up 2 or 3 times in one game. In football, you don't know what position it is. In this game, you're going to get to watch him do every single thing. You're going to be able to see, can he have 25 points? Can he have 14 rebounds? All eyes are going to be on him, and I think that's what makes it so exciting.
And we saw it in preseason. Over the course of just 4 games, he had 23 points, averaging 6 rebounds, shot at 71% from the field. So we know what he did in preseason, but what's the impact he's going to have on this team, the Pelicans that have been playing well as of late, Woj?
Well, and talking to David Griffin this morning, you know, think of how different the group he returns to 3 months later is. Brandon Ingram is an all-star. I think the Western Conference coaches are going to vote him in. Lonzo Ball is on the best stretch of his career. His last 4 games, a career best in assists, and I'm told that there's a lot of optimism that Drew Holiday will be back next week too. So add him back to this team, and he comes back to a group that is playing much better, with so much more talent around him. It's going to open up the floor even more for Zion.
Well, and look, at the end of the day, the entire NBA world is rooting for Zion. We want him out there. We want him playing. We know it's great for basketball. We know the fans want to see him. Players want to play against them. People, like, when you get a number 1 pick, you get a target on your back, but it's also a gauge. You can gauge yourself against that. So young players want to go against them. So I think it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's the perfect storm for the Pelicans right now. They started the season on a 13-game losing streak. They're 9 of 12. You know, so they're playing well now, and they could get Zion back as early as next week. Obviously, all eyes will be on New Orleans.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights and analysis, check out the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, check out ESPN+.